Not more than half an hour. Okay, so one of my favorite vorts is a little Dvar Torah in the beginning of the night of the Leila Seder. So Rabbi Neufeld mentioned that right at the beginning, before Magid, we talk about the matzah. So we say halach ma'ani. That's really the first passage which we're reading. It's not actually part of Magid. It's like an introduction to Magid, and we're introducing here. This is the lechem, the lach ma'ani. The lach ma'ani is a reference to what? It's a reference to the matzah. Now, if you don't look at the words, you don't look at the Mefarshim, you'd ask, what was the matzah all about? What's the matzah that we're eating on Leila Seder? What is that reminding us of? And the truth is, even later on in the Seder, that's actually what it is reminding us of, which is what? The matzah that we ate when we left Mitzrayim. We left Mitzrayim. We didn't have time, like the pasuk says, it wasn't enough time for the bread to rise, so we had matzah. So if you think about it, that's Pashup Shad, we would imagine, that's a simple explanation. We're talking about the matzah that we ate when we left Mitzrayim. But if you take a little closer look at the words, halach ma'ani, this is the lechem, the achla avasana that our forefathers ate, be'arad in Mitzrayim. They ate this while they were in Mitzrayim. And the Mefarshim will speak about this is not the matzah that they ate when they left Mitzrayim. This is the matzah that they ate in Mitzrayim for 210 years while they're in Mitzrayim. So we have the matzah that which we're remembering, the matzah which we ate during Mitzrayim. And then later on in the Seder, we talk about the matzah that we had when we left Mitzrayim. I think that's a little bit interesting. Finally, 210 years of slavery. We come and we're about to leave. And the first night out, it's all an exciting moment. And we have, we're roasting the steaks for the Korban Pesach. And then all of a sudden, Moshe Rabbeinu, we're like, okay, Moshe Rabbeinu, what's on the menu for tonight? Matzah. So you're telling me for 210 years, they ate matzah. They ate matzah for 210 years. And then when they left Mitzrayim, they had matzah. Now, why did they have matzah for 200? Why did they have matzah in Mitzrayim? They had matzah when they left Mitzrayim because they didn't have time for the bread to rise. Why did they have matzah in Mitzrayim? So the Rishonim say, the Mefarshim and Yagoda, you'll see, they explain because it was a very good thing to give a slave. You give a slave matzah to eat. It doesn't take a long time to make, and it stays in his body a long time. It's a great thing to give a slave. So the slave, they're eating as slaves 210 years. They leave, and the first thing they eat is matzah. What's the pshat? So I heard once a beautiful pshat. It's based on the Svarno. And the pshat is like this: that when the Jews were leaving Mitzrayim, right? So they're now finally having their exodus. We've been slaves, we're finally getting freedom, right? So we're going to think our situation is going to change. We had such a difficult life. We didn't eat anything normal. We had to eat this garbage bread that's hard and doesn't taste good. And finally, we're going to leave, and the whole life is going to be different. Our situation is going to be different. And comes along, Haggadah Baruch Hu says, I want you to eat matzah. Why? To teach us that what determines our happiness and our fulfillment in life has nothing to do, is not at all the external situation which we're in. Most of us and most of society, most of the people in the world, they determine and they decide and they feel and they experience life as good and bad depending on the scenario that they're in. If they're in what they or what the world thinks as something which is good or fun, is happy, so then they're happy. And if not, they're not happy. HaKadosh Baruch Hu was telling us the determining factor is not the scenario that you're in. A person has the ability to be happy, to be successful, to be productive, to feel accomplished because of who he is be'etzim. You are determining that. Nothing around you determines that. So you can blame your whole life, right? We'll go up in a society, right? Blame your school's not good. Blame the teacher, blame the friends, sue this person. Everything around me is the problem. Everybody except for me. And now the lesson is that no, you're going to be able to eat the same exact matzah every 210 years, the exact same thing, and you're going to be happy with it. You can determine your happiness. And that's connected to really, which is where we have the whole parasha of HaChodesh Hazeh Lechem, which this week we parasha HaChodesh, is that was the rebirth, that was the new life that we got, is that we're in control. When a person was a slave in Mitzrayim, what the idea of being a slave is that you're not in control of anything. So physically, technically speaking, you're not in control of anything. You don't determine when you get up, when you go to sleep, what you do. But in a deeper way, right, you don't have the ability to decide anything about your life. What your life is going to be, what you're going to feel, it's all being determined by someone else. Do this, think this. A yid, and that's what we got, the cheres that we got when we left Mitzrayim, was that we have the ability to make our lives what we want it to be. You have the famous phrase that would say, Ein lecha ben chayrin el b'misha oisek b'Torah. A person is not free unless they're oisek b'Torah. What does it mean, oisek b'Torah? What do you mean? The more Torah I learn, the more things I have to do. I'm the opposite of being free, right? Ein lecha ben chayrin, that's what we talk. We had cheres. We got freedom when we left Mitzrayim. Ein lecha ben chayrin el b'misha oisek b'Torah. The pshat is because when a person is not deciding based on the Torah what he's doing. So what is he living his life based on? It's based on, okay, whatever His Yetzer Hara tells him to do whatever life, wherever it takes him. So life takes you this. So yeah, okay, you're feeling this, you're doing that. Your Yetzer Hara tells you this. When I decide to be in control, I have the ability to determine this is what I want, this is what I'm going to do. Kadosh Baruch Hu says, be happy now. Leila Seder, be happy. Why should I be happy? I'm not frat, I don't have any friends. Yeah, you know how you're going to be happy? Be happy. Because you can determine, I'm going to do that right now. And we have a mitzvah to do that. And that was one of the Yisodos, which is a very important Yisod for life, Bechlal, but also a fundamental idea for Leila Seder B'daf, because that is to take this ability of being a Ben Chor and that we determine what we are. Sometimes we want to feel sadness, unfortunately. A person has to be able to sometimes feel sadness. There's a war going on. You have to connect to that. You can't, people want to tune that out. No, you have to be, when you want to feel, you have to feel what it means to be a Yid. Sometimes it means to appreciate the tsar that's going on, the sadness. Sometimes it means I'm going to be a person who's going to be enjoying life. I'm going to be b'simcha. It doesn't matter what's going on in my life. Leila Seder comes. I'm going to be a simcha dikayid, and that's going to happen through the very same matzah that brought me that tsar. That matzah is going to bring me the simcha.